What is up, everybody? It's Movie Buff Beth, and I'm back with another haul video for you guys. Today I'm going to show you the second part of my March haul. Like I mentioned before, I separated a bunch of the sale stuff from the regular hauls, but still had a ton of stuff to share with you guys, so I'm going to be doing that today. I am back again by myself. I bought a lot of this stuff, so Andrew just said I could go ahead and shoot this video on my own. And if you guys watched the part 1 of my March haul, you know I can be a little long-winded when it comes to my pickups, so I will go ahead and apologize in advance if this video ends up being super long. But I want to thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate the support so very much. Make sure you check out the description box below and find ways to support our channel if you are so inclined. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. It means the world. So we'll just go ahead and get started. A couple weeks ago, I went up to Seattle and visited my sister and nephews. It was so much fun. It was so nice to get away from work and just have some time off to go and spend some time with family. And of course, being me, I looked up all the fun places to go Blu-ray hunting and found a lot of cool things. I also have some stuff other than movies to show you guys, so I'll go ahead and dive in and just tell you where I got everything. This video I'm organizing a little bit differently because I went to so many different places to pick things up. I thought it'd be more interesting to organize them based on where I picked them up. And like I said, I have some stuff that are not movies, so we'll just start with that stuff. And not everything in this video is stuff I picked up in Seattle, but a good majority is. The first few things, I actually just ordered these online from a website called Pinship. That's P-I-N-S-H-I-P, and these are just some really cool pins that I thought were super fitting for me. They are director pins. I'll go ahead and see if I could show them right in front of the camera so you can check them out. You got a directed by John Carpenter pin, and then we have a written and directed by Greta Gerwig pin, and then we also have a Stanley Kubrick production pin, and a David Fincher film pin. Yeah, so 4 of my favorite directors. This is just a really cool thing to pick up, add to my enamel pin board. I don't have a ton of enamel pins. I have a few. If I started getting into those, it'd just be a lot more money out the window. But yeah, those were kind of a fun addition to the collection that I thought I would share with you guys. Next up, I have another horror small figure. I showed one of these, I think in our last haul. It was Pennywise, so let's go ahead and open it up and see what it is. I already know what it is, but I'll go ahead and show you guys. These are of course blind boxes, so you don't know what you're gonna get, so I'm glad that it wasn't another Pennywise, but it is the Shining twins. Look how cute that is, guys. That's adorable. I love horror stuff like this. I always pick it up when I can find it. And these small figures are absolutely adorable. Looks like you could also get the Nun, another version of Pennywise, Annabelle, and Reagan from The Exorcist. So yeah, they're pretty fun. Again, I try not to get too into some of this stuff because I would end up blowing a lot of money on it, but it is fun to add these. And I think I got this from Hot Topic, I do believe. So yeah, that's a little figure there. Next up, I got another Toonie Terror. This is the Creep from Creep Show. Awesome. I love these figures. You guys have probably seen out in the living area. I have them all hung up above the 4K shelf. I love these figures. There's a few that I really need to get my hands on. I especially want to grab Ghostface because that one looks awesome. But yeah, happy to have the Creep in the Toonie Terrors collection. These are a lot of fun. And I think the rest of this miscellaneous stuff are things that I picked up while in Seattle. There's a really cool store we went to. It was called Bobacon. It's a collectibles store. It was just a huge store that had so many cool things. If you guys are familiar with Seattle at all, I'm sure you've heard of it before. It's actually in Everett, Washington. So yeah, I got a few things there. They were actually all things that were created by local artists, which is really cool. But the store has, you know, everything from pop figures to like just old vintage toys, lots of cool stuff. My nephews absolutely loved it. We actually went there twice while I was in town, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. But the first thing I got was a couple of magnets. Look at those are absolutely adorable little cat horror magnets. You got Ghostface and Jason. And I believe by that same artist I got some art prints. Got these for Andrew. The first one is called How to Train Your Kitten. So a cat version of Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon. And I especially love this one because we always mention how our cat Kiwi looks like Toothless, and she's a black cat just like this, so I loved that. And then I also got him this little TARDIS kitten, you know, Doctor Who cat. Thought those were just perfect for Andrew, so I had to grab those. And again, I think those are by the same artist. And then the last thing that I picked up from Buybacks is this really cool art print. It says, "I love you to Haddonfield and back." Look how great that is. I just absolutely love this. This is from the Mad Monster Lady. I think you can look her up on Instagram, but yeah, really cool art print. Can't wait to get this framed and hung up. So yeah, I believe that is everything I picked up from Buybacks. Next up, as you may have noticed, I'm wearing a Mopop t-shirt. We went to the Mopop Museum, which is the Museum of Pop Culture, obviously right up my alley. It was a lot of fun. I really liked the sci-fi section and the horror section. It was just so much fun. I'll try and insert some photos over me talking, but yeah, Mopop Museum, very, very fun. And I grabbed a couple things from the gift shop there. Again, I got this t-shirt. I got Andrew a t-shirt that's like a Batman cat shirt. Obviously, I love to buy him cat things. But I also found a couple of reaction figures, and I haven't picked these up in quite a while, and they were actually a good deal there. This one's for Andrew. This is the Fifth Element Lilo. Or Lilu, sorry, Lilu. So yeah, I had to grab that for Andrew. And then the one I picked up for myself is Ghostface, of course. Unfortunately, he's like falling off of the packaging here, so I had to put some tape on there, but I'll see if I could fix that up a little bit better. But these will make nice additions to the other reaction figures we have on the wall. So of course I bought lots of fun touristy type of things. These are just kind of some miscellaneous pickups. Got this at a collectible store that was in Pike Place Market. It's a little Totoro magnet. I had to grab that one for Andrew, but I also love Totoro. Then I believe from that same place I got a Friends magnet, one of my favorite lines from the whole series. Love it. I absolutely love that episode. It's probably one of my favorites when everyone finds out about Monica and Chandler. And then this one, my sister found it for me and I had to get it. It says, "Bury me with my cats." I mean, how true is that? Awesome. She grabbed one as well. And then another Friends one. I think I actually got this at Half Price Books, a little Smelly Cat Friends magnet. Sorry, I'm trying to move through this stuff pretty quickly because I know you guys are here for the movies, but I don't get stuff like this very often, so it's fun to share. And this next thing was a really, really cool gift from my sister. Last time I was in Seattle, I introduced her to the What We Do in the Shadows TV show, and we both just absolutely love it. And she actually got me this cool print from that show. It was a really nice and thoughtful gift for her to give me. I really, really love that. Some of this stuff might be a little out of order just because I want to show you all of the non-movie stuff. I got a RoboCop comic book from Half Price Books. Both me and my nephew Alex love RoboCop, so he saw this and really wanted me to buy it, so of course I had to grab that. And then another pickup from Half Price Books, I actually have a vinyl record, and that is the soundtrack to The Big Chill. I just recently watched this movie for the first time and absolutely loved it, and one of the highlights was the soundtrack, so when I saw this I knew I had to grab it. And this is actually another thing that I picked up in town here at Zia Records, but I love stuff like this and I thought you guys would think it was interesting. It's a big old giant coffee table book of the films of 20th Century Fox. It's extremely heavy, but this is only $3. I just love having things like this just to flip through and read about movies. I think this was printed in like the early 80s or something, so obviously it's not super up to date, but again, I love stuff like this, so I was happy to pick that up. And again, $3, can't go wrong. And I got a couple more music related things. I actually have a cassette tape. You guys know I'm old school. I like retro media a lot, and this is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's Songs for the Big Chair by Tears for Fears. Found that at Zia Records, had to grab it. I love this album. And then this is a great soundtrack. This is the soundtrack to Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion. It's just a lot of music that I really enjoy, so I picked that one up at Zia Records as well. This is a pickup of Andrew's, of course, and it is the mini epics version of Gandalf. He got this to add to his ever-growing Lord of the Rings collection, and he already had another of the mini epics, so I was happy to find that one for him, and obviously he was very happy to pick it up. We are almost to the movies, I promise, but before we do that, I have to mention one of my favorite parts of the trip, which was visiting the Funko headquarters in Everett, Washington. It was so cool. She had been there before, my sister, and she said that I absolutely had to go, and it was so much fun. I mean, obviously there were lots of cool exclusive pop figures, but just being there and seeing all of the cool designs and all the giant pop figures they had, and the themes to each room, it was just so much fun. If you guys have ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It was just a lot of fun, and of course I had to pick some stuff up because I love pop figures and I love Funko, so I'll go ahead and show you what I picked up there. The first thing is actually a 5-star figure. I have a few of these, they're all horror, but this one is not. And this says it's a 2019 Fall Convention limited edition. I don't know if it's actually that hard to find, but it is an exclusive, so I decided to grab it. And that is Scott Pilgrim. And look how cute that thing is. Absolutely adorable. I'll probably have to pick up a Ramona Flowers at some point as well, but I love these. They come with a bunch of cool accessories as well. Just a lot of fun, and it was an exclusive, so I had to grab it while I was there. This one was not an exclusive, but I knew it was one that Andrew wanted, and I was trying to find him, you know, plenty of gifts to bring home from my trip, and that is the concept series of Darth Vader. They've just started doing these, but this one he was really stoked on finding, so I had to grab that one for him. And then the last two things I picked up there, this one is a 2019 New York Comic Con limited edition. Again, I don't know if this is really that hard to find, but I just thought it was so cool and I had to grab it. And that is Dr. Frank Poole from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And look how cool that is, guys. Had to grab that one. And the last thing I grabbed, this is a Funko Shop limited edition, which I think means you can only grab it there. And that is Chris Washington from Get Out. This is like the bloody version. Really cool. Had to add this one to the collection as well. But again, if you guys ever get the opportunity to go to the Funko headquarters in Everett, Washington, I absolutely recommend it. It's a lot of fun. If you like pop culture and the like, it was just a really cool experience. So let's go ahead and get into the movies, guys. This first pickup is kind of random. It was actually given to me by my sister. But funny story with it, this is a movie that she really wanted me to check out with her while I was up in Washington, because she's like, oh, I have it on DVD, we can give it a watch, because I had never seen it before. And she goes and pulls her DVD out. She's like, I haven't even opened this before. I bought it, you know, several years ago at Hastings, and I haven't even opened it, so let's watch it. And she brings it out, and the first thing I notice, and it's Yentl, by the way, and the first thing I notice are those little rating logos right there. And I go, yeah, that's not a US disc. Hopefully this is a Region 1 DVD. And, you know, lo and behold, it is a Region 2 disc that she bought at Hastings. So very, very random, but of course she doesn't have a Region free player, so we were unable to watch it. And I'm like, well, I have a Region free player. I could watch it at home. Too bad we're not there. And she was just like, well, you can go ahead and have my copy, because what am I going to do with it? So now I have Yentl on DVD. I know it's on Blu-ray from Twilight Time, but it's super out of print, so happy to have this in the collection, and I will watch it soon, just because my sister recommended it to me, and this is one I've been wanting to see. Now, like I mentioned before, I have all of these kind of organized into piles from where I purchased them. The one exception is my new releases. Those are kind of all just put together, and since I usually do new releases at the end, we'll go ahead and do them now. Got some pretty good stuff to show you guys, so go ahead and get started with that. First new release is actually a steelbook. I know I say I don't like these very much, but I have been picking them up on occasion lately. I have the first one, so I had to grab this one, and that is the Friday the 13th Part 2 steelbook. Andrew picked this up for me at Best Buy. Was really happy that he grabbed it, because I have the first one, and it's just a really pretty, nice steelbook. I'm not even sure if I will open it. I haven't opened the first one either, because of course I have the Screen Factory box set, but happy to add this one to the small but curated steelbook collection of ours. Now we'll move into the 4K new releases. First one is a new BBC special, which, as you guys know, look absolutely fantastic on 4K TVs, and it's called A Perfect Planet. Don't know much about this, but again, it'll probably look gorgeous on my TV. This one we actually did watch the other day, and it looked absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure you guys have been hearing lots of good things about it, and that is The Ten Commandments. Again, this just looked absolutely wonderful on 4K. Definitely a reference quality disc. I mean, you could hardly believe how old this film is. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would think it was from nowadays, just how sharp and crisp and wonderful this movie looked. As far as the movie itself, I had seen parts of it over the years on TV, but never all the way through. This is the first time that I ever watched it all the way through. It is very long. I don't know that I'll revisit it right away, but it is an interesting watch, kind of a fun thing to throw on Easter. I did enjoy it, but yeah. The Ten Commandments looked fantastic on 4K. And the next one is another one that we have watched, and that is 2014's Godzilla. I think that I actually enjoyed this one more than most. I think that this is a really well done adaptation of the Godzilla tale. This is probably my favorite of the new monster universe. I know that's probably an unpopular opinion, but I really do enjoy this film. I think some of the performances are great. You got Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor-Johnson. They're great. Bryan Cranston, of course, is always great. I know a lot of people's complaints in these movies is too much of the human characters and not enough Godzilla action, which, I mean, I guess is kind of true, but I was fully invested in the human characters. I thought that they were well written and well done. So I really do enjoy this film, and it looked wonderful in 4K, and that Atmos track was amazing. Next up, one that I'm sure everyone's picking up, and that is Wonder Woman 1984. I was not a big fan of this movie. I really did like the first Wonder Woman. It's not super rewatchable in my opinion, but it was a decent superhero movie. This one, however, I just have no desire to revisit it right away. It was a pretty big letdown, but this 4K cover is nice, and we are completionists, so of course we had to add it to the collection. Now, another direct-to-streaming movie that's making its 4K debut, but this one I was not disappointed in at all, and that is Disney Pixar's Soul. This was a wonderful movie, right up there with Inside Out. Very introspective and deep and meaningful animated film, which is how I like my animated films. A lot of the animated films that I gravitate towards are kind of psychological, philosophical, if you will, and this was just a really well done film, and I'm looking forward to watching it on 4K. Next up, we have News of the World, starring Tom Hanks, of course. We did watch this one. We rented it when my family was in town. I know Andrew really enjoyed it. I was kind of middle of the road on this one. I thought it was all right. I thought it struggled with some pacing issues. I mean, I'm okay with the slow-paced film, but I just thought that this one overall was pretty boring. But I could have just not been in the mood for it, so this is definitely one that I will be rewatching soon on 4K and seeing how I feel about it. But again, Andrew really did enjoy it. Next, we have a new release from Full Moon, and that is Tourist Trap. I do own this movie from them already, but this is the uncut edition. I've really been wanting to see this cut of the film for quite a while. I did enjoy the version that I watched, but I felt like it could have been better, so I'm hoping that that will be the case with the uncut version. But very happy that Full Moon finally released it, and happy to add it to the collection. Next up, we have two new releases from the awesome new boutique label Cauldron Films. First up, we have Beyond Terror. I'll go ahead and show the back of that one as well. Cauldron Films, I haven't watched the first two releases from them, but they are really knocking it out of the park when it comes to presentation, and I'm really looking forward to sitting down and watching all of these. I'm actually planning on watching all four of their releases pretty soon, and then probably doing a video about it if I have enough to say about them. And the next one is called The Crimes of the Black Cat, which I will probably be watching this one this week. It's 70s Decade of Horror on Instagram, so kind of the perfect opportunity to give this one a watch. But again, Cauldron doing a great job with the presentation, and I'm looking forward to watching the films. Next, we have a couple of limited editions from Shout Factory. I know people have not really been loving the practice of them releasing these Roger Corman films in a very limited fashion. I'm okay with it. I think that they should not allow people to buy 5 copies each. I think that that's craziness, but yeah, that's what they're gonna do. This first one is a double feature, and it has Amazons and Barbarian Queen. Obviously, I haven't watched any of these yet. They are still sealed in plastic, but I'm happy to add them to the collection. I think this one is already sold out. Then we have another Roger Corman one here, and that is The Big Bust Out. This one I've been hearing pretty so-so things about, but you know, gotta have all the Scream Factories, so happy to grab it. Next up, we have some new releases from none other than Vinegar Syndrome. First one is Last Gasp. They always do such a good job with their slipcovers. They are just absolutely gorgeous. Haven't had a chance to give this one a watch yet, but it does look intriguing. As always, you know, love getting Vinegar Syndrome packages in the mail. I didn't place my order for the partner labels quite early enough, so they didn't come this month, but I will get them next month. And then we have Death Promise. I mean, come on, look at that slipcover. That is absolutely awesome. On the back it says, "Filthy rich landlords get away with murder. It's time they pay for it." This one looks like a lot of fun. I'll probably be giving this one a watch pretty soon. And then this one I have watched actually, and that is Rush Week. Anytime there's a new slasher film out, I have to give it a watch pretty much right away. Also got alternate artwork on the inside, so I gotta show that to you guys. This one, it was okay. I was kind of disappointed by it. I'm not really sure what I was expecting, because, you know, a lot of these slasher films are not the greatest, but I was a little disappointed with it. I just thought it was a little low on gore, a little light on kills, not quite what I was hoping it to be, but I'll definitely give it a watch again at some point. And then of course we have the new erotic title. This is a double feature, I'm gonna say this wrong, with the Furies Sexuelles and Prostitution Clandestine. Not sure I can really show the back on this one, so we'll go ahead and hold it up like that. But yeah, haven't watched this one yet either. Then we have a new release that I've heard pretty bad things about it, but we'll give it a watch at some point, and that is The Toll. It does have a nice shiny slipcover, but yeah, I've heard it's pretty so-so. And then from Wellgo USA we have Russian Raid. Always keen to check out what they're releasing. They release some interesting stuff. This one is a Russian film. Surprise, surprise, I guess. It does have English subtitles, of course, but yeah, always interested in what Wellgo is releasing. Next up we have an HBO miniseries that I did watch and really enjoyed, and that is The Undoing. This of course stars Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. I love anything that Nicole Kidman does. I think she's awesome. Hugh Grant is also one of my 90s rom-com favorites, so it was interesting seeing him in a different role here. But I'm happy that HBO is still releasing their stuff on physical media. This is actually a Warner Brothers release, but yeah, an HBO show. If you guys have watched this one, let me know what you think in the comments below. We have another one from Wellgo USA that I know absolutely nothing about, and that is Cosmo Ball. Yeah, this looks interesting. The stakes have never been higher. And from RLJE Entertainment, we have Psycho Gorman. Andrew and I watched this one the other night. So much fun. I really love this one. Really fun throwback to kind of the fun, like family-friendly movies of the 80s, kind of like the Gate type films. I really loved it, but it is not light on gore, which I also appreciated. It's just so much fun. I definitely would have enjoyed this kind of movie when I was a kid had I seen it back then, but this is an awesome flick. And the cool thing about this release is there's actually alternate artwork, which I haven't seen as much with RLJE. So yeah, that's a cool addition. Really cool artwork on the inside as well. I know it's April and I still have not released my top 25 films of 2020. I have every intention of filming that pretty soon. I will get it out before the Oscars. Spoiler alert though, this is my absolute favorite film of 2020. I absolutely love this movie, and that is Promising Young Woman. Carey Mulligan is absolutely fantastic in this role. She's so good. Emerald Fennell, fantastic direction, just such a wonderful film. I had high expectations going into it and still came out just absolutely amazed. If you guys haven't watched it yet, get on that because it's really good. I hope that it wins some Oscars. I'm not super hopeful, but it would be awesome if it did win some, because this is just a fantastic film. This one I think is a fairly recent release, came out like a month or two ago. I was a little slow in picking it up, but I finally did, and that is Small Soldiers. I know a lot of people were really excited about this release. I didn't grow up with this movie. I watched it for the first time a few weeks ago. I did enjoy it, but I do feel like this is one that I would have enjoyed more had I seen it when I was a kid. But I do love Kirsten Dunst, so it was exciting to see her in there. But yeah, it's a pretty fun movie. Next up we have Songbird. This movie was alright. I mean, I don't know, it wasn't very good, to be honest. Just another one of these out of the pandemic films that we got, and this is probably the worst one I've seen yet. It wasn't great, but Andrew wanted to see it, so we picked it up. We'll probably give it a watch together at some point, but yeah, definitely could have been a lot better. Next we have Don't Tell a Soul. A lot of people have been talking about this one since its release. You got Rainn Wilson and Jack Dylan Grazer from the It films. I thought this one was alright. It was engaging, it kept me interested from beginning to end, but it was nothing groundbreaking, nothing I hadn't seen before. I saw the twist coming from a million miles away, but it was a decent time passer. I didn't hate it or anything. If you guys are interested in it, I'd say give it a rent first. Another one that I picked up based solely on the cool slipcover. This one is called Dark Web Cicada 3301. Know absolutely nothing about this movie. Don't even know any of the stars listed at the top, but yeah, we'll give it a watch at some point. Another one from RLJE Entertainment, and this is a remake. I haven't seen the original yet, but I'm going to watch the original first, of course, and that is Castle Freak. I've heard pretty bad things about this one, so I'm going to go in with pretty low expectations, but again, I have to watch the original first before I give this one a watch. We have another entry in the Ip Man series. I think this is kind of a spin-off series. I don't know why I think that. I mean, it doesn't have Donnie Yen, that's probably why, but this is called Ip Man Kung Fu Fat Master. So yeah, don't know much about this, but when I see a new magnet release in stores with a slipcover, I have to grab it. This next one is put out by Quiver Distribution, which is a company that Andrew and I have kind of been keeping our eye on. We've enjoyed some of their releases, like Becky. They release pretty straight to disc type fare, but we've been trying to grab all of their releases and show them some support. And this one is called Money Plane. Yeah, I'm not too sure how good this one's gonna be, but we'll see. So those are all of the new releases. So I'll go ahead and dive into the stuff that we have picked up around town, and as well as stuff that I picked up in Seattle. Like I mentioned, I have kind of organized these based on where I bought them. So these first few I picked up at what they call Value Village. It's called Savers here in Nevada, but they call it Value Village. I found 4 titles there. First one is called Good Hair. This stars Chris Rock. This is actually a documentary, from what I understand, about beauty salons and the hairstyling industry. It caught my attention because it says it is 94% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, I wanted to give this one a watch. It seems like it has pretty good reviews, and looks like it could be interesting. And then kind of a random pickup here. This stars Kevin Spacey and Frank Whaley. It is called Swimming with Sharks. And this is kind of an interesting DVD release because the slipcase on it is like this cool clear slipcase. And so that's kind of what drew me into this one. Don't know anything about it, but from what I could tell, it's only available on DVD. So Swimming with Sharks. As always, guys, if you have seen any of these titles, let me know what you think about them below, because I would love to hear your thoughts. This one I have seen before. It's pretty cheesy, what Joe and Marie would call a holy roller film, if you will. This is Fireproof, starring Kirk Cameron, who pretty much exclusively does like Christian films nowadays, I do believe. I do remember it being very, very cheesy, but when I find a Blu-ray at a thrift store that I don't own, I mean, I pretty much kind of have to pick it up. And there was probably like 10 Blu-rays, and I managed to find 2 that I didn't own, which is a pretty impressive feat at a thrift store. So that's why I grabbed Fireproof. I'll probably give it a watch again at some point, but not a huge fan of this genre of film, which I actually think I have another film in this haul that falls under this genre, but yeah, Fireproof. And then the other Blu-ray I found at Value Village is called Battle of the Year. I feel like I vaguely remember this coming out. You got Josh Holloway and Chris Brown, pretty random crew, but it's like a dance movie, I guess. I'll give it a watch at some point. I was able to go to an FYE there in Seattle. Don't have any FYEs here in town, so it was fun to go to. The unfortunate thing about this FYE, it was in a mall, so it was pretty small. All the FYEs I've been to before, like in Utah when I used to live there, they were all like standalone stores. I mean, the one that was in my hometown when I was growing up was like a warehouse. It was like a Walmart sized FYE. I mean, it was huge. So I'm not used to the ones in the mall. In fact, I have been to one in the mall before, but it was a lot more spaced out, I feel like, than this one. This one was pretty tiny, and the way that they had organized their discs, they had the Blu-rays and DVDs together, which is pretty commonplace, but it was just so hard to look at them that I ended up just getting really frustrated and not really looking through too many of the movies. I bought a few t-shirts there, and then I bought this one steelbook because, as you guys have seen in either other people's hauls or in your local FYEs, they're having like huge steelbook sales, and this one is a double dip, but it's such a cool steelbook, I just kind of had to grab it. And that is the Mondo 30th anniversary edition of Pet Sematary. I actually saw this in Cinefession's video, and it reminded me how much I had wanted this one in the past. I think I almost bought it before I got the 4K, but then ended up just getting the 4K. But this is a really pretty steelbook. It's decked out with all kinds of stickers from FYE, but as you can see, it was only $10, so can't go wrong with that price. Definitely would have paid $25 for a double or triple dip. I think this is the 3rd time I bought Pet Sematary. But yeah, it's a cool addition to the collection. Really like these Mondo steelbooks, and yeah, that's the only movie that I bought at FYE, which is a pretty rare thing that I buy one movie an entire FYE, but oh well. It was kind of frustrating to look at. If you guys kind of can relate to that, let me know in the comments below. Alrighty, these next few I got at kind of a local store, a local record store. It was actually just a few blocks away from the Funko headquarters in Everett, and I found a few titles there. First one is called Death Kappa. And come on, look at that. How could I pass up a movie like this? I have to show you the back. I've never heard of this before, but it just looks absolutely insane. Looks like a lot of fun. It says it's from the producers of The Machine Girl and Tokyo Gore Police, so had to grab that. You got a nice slipcover on there as well. So yeah, Death Kappa. And this is a movie I've been meaning to add to my collection for a while. For one reason or another, I haven't picked it up before now, and that is Swingers. I've actually never seen this before, but really do like Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, so looking forward to giving that one a watch. And then this one, from what I could tell online, is kind of out of print. It's not super easy to come by, so I was pretty excited to find this one, and it is called Things We Lost in the Fire. And this one stars Halle Berry and Benicio del Toro. Again, it's pretty hard to come by online, so finding it for $5 was an awesome deal. So like FYE, Seattle also has Half Price Books, another store that I don't have here in town. So I was really excited to go to a couple of those. I think I went to 2 or 3 locations while I was there. Either way, I found some really cool stuff at Half Price Books, so I'll go and show you what I picked up there. First title is a film starring Adrian Brody. It is called A Matador's Mistress. I actually have never heard of this movie before, but anytime I see a release like this, I have to pick it up, because how often are you going to come across a film like this? And this is actually put out by Xenon Pictures. Very, very random. But yeah, Matador's Mistress. Next, I picked this one up mostly because I had the slipcover and I knew if I ordered it online it probably wouldn't come with it. I've been wanting to get into some Ultraman. I kind of don't even know where to start, but again, I found this with the slipcover, so this might be where I start. I'm not even sure if I can start here, but this is Neo Ultra Q. If you guys know a little bit more about Ultraman, give me some guidance on where I should start with that. And this one is actually sealed and brand new, which is pretty cool. Film starring Clint Eastwood, and that is Coogan's Bluff. And yeah, again, it's brand new sealed, so pretty good deal for that one. Next up, we have a Stallone film that I've been needing to add to the collection for a while, and that is Over the Top. Sorry about these stickers here, guys. I left most of the stickers on just because I wanted to remember how much they were and kind of showcase that, but definitely need to clean these cases up pretty soon. Gotta love classic Stallone films. Looking forward to watching this one. Next up, we have a movie that I picked up because of Matthew Modine. Love him, but I also really like Gina Davis as well, and that is Cutthroat Island. Don't know too much about this one, but again, I love that cast, so had to grab it. Got another Clint Eastwood flick here, and that is The Rookie. I've never seen this one before, but you also got Charlie Sheen, so looking forward to giving this one a watch. Next, we have a mini series that I remember hearing pretty good things about. This was on Stars. It is called The Girlfriend Experience. So yeah, I remember hearing good things about this one when it came out, so looking forward to giving it a watch. Then we have an Olive Films release. Really cool to find this in the wild. And this stars Bob Hope. It's called Boy Did I Get a Wrong Number. Gotta love that title. Looks like a pretty fun film. If you guys have seen this one before, let me know what you thought of it. Next up, we have Bayou Caviar. This one, I think I've seen this on like Hamilton Book or something recently, but I passed it up and I finally decided to just go ahead and give it a grab. This stars Cuba Gooding Jr., so it looks intriguing. I like to see him in kind of more of a serious, intense role. This one caught my attention because it says Eli Roth Presents at the top, and that is Aftershock. Actually, never heard of this film before, so this one really intrigues me. This is one that I've had on my radar for a while, and one that I've always wanted to check out. This one is called Larry Gay, Renegade Male Flight Attendants. This one looks like a lot of fun, so I'm gonna give this a watch soon. Then we have a film here called Nemesis, Night of the Living Dead. Pretty random title here. Never even heard of this one. And you know me, when I find random horror, I've got to grab it. Another brand new sealed title. This is a documentary that I've wanted to see for a really long time, because I remember hearing really good things about it when it came out. I'm not sure how you say it. I think it's Euro Dreams of Sushi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I remember hearing really good things about this when it first came out, so looking forward to giving this one a watch and adding it to my documentary collection. And I did grab a couple of DVDs at Half Price Books. This first one is a Tartan Asia Extreme title. Always like checking these out. They've got a lot of cool horror films and like crime thriller films as well. This one is called The Ghost. Looks intriguing. It says The Grudge meets Dark Water, so that sounds really cool. And then this is a movie that I've always heard about over the years and have wanted to see it. Stars Tyrese Gibson and Snoop Dogg, and that of course is Baby Boy. One that I've heard a lot about over the years, so have to give it a watch. So yeah, that is everything that I picked up from Half Price Books. Really do wish I had one of those in town because it's a great store, but every time I go and visit her, there are several locations for me to go check out, so it's really fun. The next store that I went to is called Silver Platters. They have, I think, 3 locations in the Seattle area. I went there last time I was in town, and this time really impressed by it. It reminds me a lot of like Zia Records like we have here, and then Graywell like I had in Utah. Just a really cool locally owned record store that also has a ton of movies. I mean, they have just an incredible selection. I felt a little bad being there this time, you know, because of COVID. They had a lot of restrictions in place and they only wanted you to be in the store for so long. But I was really overwhelmed trying to look through all the movies, but they were very understanding and realized that I was looking through everything and I was buying a lot, so they were forgiving of me being there so long. But yeah, shopping in COVID times a little bit stressful, but yeah, Silver Platters, really cool store. I think I've only been to one of their locations in Bellevue. They have one in like the Seattle proper area as well that I need to go to next time I'm in town. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you what I picked up there. The first thing, this is a Warner Archive title. I have purchased a lot from Warner Archive in the last couple weeks, of course, with their final 4 for $44 sale. That video, by the way, will be coming soon. Still waiting on 2 of my orders to show up in the mail. I have 1 that I already got, but I'm still waiting on 2 orders, and then I will show you everything I picked up in that sale. But this is one that I didn't grab, and I saw it there for $11, which is what they kind of work out to in the sale. So I had to grab it, and that is Out of the Past. Sorry, these are all kind of in these like plastic cases, so hopefully they show up okay on the camera. But this stars Robert Mitchum, who I really like in like Night of the Hunter, and I'm really trying to watch more film noir, so when I saw this one I had to grab it. And you also got Kirk Douglas in there. I mean, I've heard this is a wonderful film, so really looking forward to giving this one a watch, and always happy to add to the Warner Archive collection. Next up, this is a title from Mill Creek. I think that there is a Kino release, but this was so cheap I just wanted to give it a watch. I like Tom Selleck quite a bit, and that is An Innocent Man. And this was only $5. Yeah, I think there's a Kino release, but I don't know if this is one that really warrants picking up again, but yeah, we'll see how it is. Of course, since I live in Las Vegas, I love films set in Las Vegas, which there are plenty to choose from, but this is one I had never heard of before, and it stars Bruce Willis, Rebecca Hall, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Joshua Jackson. And Rebecca Hall, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the channel before, but she's absolutely one of my all-time favorite actresses. I mean, Christine, she's so fantastic in that film. So good. If you guys have never seen Christine, definitely go give that a watch. And I think the first film I saw her in was The Gift with Jason Bateman, and I was like, wow, she's really good. And then I realized she was in The Town, and she's just in so many good films. Unfortunately, the most recent film that she's in is not the greatest. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. But this movie is called Lay the Favorite. Again, I've never heard of this one, but anything with Rebecca Hall, I have to grab it. And again, I love films set in Las Vegas, so yeah, happy to find this one. Ironic I picked it up outside of Las Vegas. This is one that I've had on my watch list for a while. It has a good cast. It stars Ralph Fiennes and Felicity Jones, and it's also directed by Ralph Fiennes, which is really intriguing, and I think that's kind of why it had been on my radar. And that is The Invisible Woman. Yeah, don't know too much about it, but directed by and starring Ralph Fiennes, so yeah, it could be good. If you guys have seen this one, let me know how it is. Next up, we have what looks to be kind of like a horror thriller film. Don't know too much about it, but it is called The Alphabet Killer. Sorry about all the price tags covering up the titles, but yeah, this one looks intriguing. You got Cary Elwes in there. I really like him in horror. I loved him in Saw. You also got Timothy Hutton, Bill Moseley, Michael Ironside. But yeah, I've never really heard much about this one, so if you guys have seen it, let me know how it is. This one I've wanted to see for a really long time. I've heard good things about it, and that is Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. This one's been on my watch list for a long time, and I've just never really found the Blu-ray for quite the price I've been looking for, but $8, can't go wrong with that, so decided to grab it finally. So going right along with that one, we have Jack Ketchum's The Lost. I actually had never even heard of this one until I saw people getting it in their horror pack this last month. I'd always heard of The Girl Next Door, but not this one, so when I saw this one there as well, I had to grab it. Next we have my only brand new pickup from the store, and that is Finding Steve McQueen. Remember when this one came out, I was intrigued to see it, but I never quite came across it. And one thing I have to mention is this store actually is really cool for collectors, because they seem to really care and understand, you know, the collector mentality, because they put their price tags underneath the slipcovers on the brand new titles. So really cool of them to do. Love silver platters. Next we have a film starring Michael Sheen, and that is The Damned United. This one just looked intriguing, looked interesting to me, so decided to go ahead and grab it. This one's probably really stupid, but one of my all-time favorite comedies, and it's not a guilty pleasure. I feel no guilt over it whatsoever. I love it. It is White Chicks. And this is another Marlon Wayans, Shawn Wayans team up, and it doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere near as good as White Chicks, but it could be fun, I don't know. And that is Little Man. I was actually kind of surprised I didn't have this one in the collection already, and for $4, you kind of can't go wrong with that. This one I've been wanting to grab for a while. I really like Paul Walker, but I knew that this one had a slipcover, so I had been holding out to find a copy with one, and I finally found one, and that is Vehicle 19. So really cool to find it with the slip in pretty much mint condition for $6. And the last two things I picked up from Silver Platters, probably my two favorite pickups. The first one is a Criterion, which is awesome. I mean, it was not a super good deal, it's $19, but I mean, just finding a Criterion in person is always an awesome thing. And their stuff is pretty much mint, so even though it's used, it's pretty much new. And this is a Jane Campion film, and it's called An Angel at My Table. And I've heard of this film before. I don't know an awful lot about this film, but I, you know, obviously know who Jane Campion is. So I was excited to grab this one. And again, it's absolutely mint. So for $19, can't go wrong with that. Everything at Silver Platters was, you know, fairly priced, but you know, there weren't a lot of like surprises of things that were like super cheap deals. However, this was the exception, and this is my favorite pickup, I think, of all of the movies I picked up while I was in Seattle, just because it was such an awesome deal. This is an Arrow Academy title, which, if you guys haven't heard, Arrow Academy is going to be no longer, I mean, they're pretty much just going to merge into Arrow Video. So, you know, Arrow Academy titles aren't going to exist, but this, I believe, is a film noir film. Looks really interesting, and again, the price was awesome, and that is Phantom Lady. And as you can see, it was only $5. What an awesome deal for an Arrow Academy release, and a fairly recent one, I do believe. And again, absolutely mint condition. I really do love that they put them in these plastic wrappers, because they stay in really good condition even being in a store environment. But yeah, that was an awesome find from Silver Platters. We're really excited about this one. So that's everything I grabbed at Silver Platters, an awesome store. I forgot to take pictures inside of that one, but it was a sight to see. I'm really excited to go back and visit the other two locations as well. Now, this store I've been wanting to go to for a really long time. Even before either of my sisters lived in Seattle, I had heard about this store, and I've just always wanted to go to it, and that's Scarecrow Video. I'm sure many of you have heard of this before as well. Last time I was in town, it was June of last year, so like nothing was open. I mean, a few things were open. I was able to go to like Silver Platters and Half Price Books, but yeah, Scarecrow Video was not open, and they were hardly even open this time. But luckily I did get to go inside. They were very strict. For those of you that don't know, it is mainly a rental store, tons and tons of films, and we go up to the rental window, and they thought they weren't even gonna let us in this time, you know, just like last time, because we had driven all the way to it before just to see if it was open, and it wasn't. And they said it was by appointment only, but they were able to let me and my sister in, which was great. But they were very strict, probably one of the strictest stores I've been to since COVID. They made us wear gloves and wash our hands right before we came in, and they said we could only be in there for 30 minutes, and that was it. It was a little strict, a little crazy, but I mean, I do understand, and I mean, it's crazy times, so gotta do what you gotta do. But I was just really happy to be able to go in. It's just a sight to see, honestly. I mean, most of the store is stuff that is for rent. There's only a few aisles there of stuff for sale, and not a lot of Blu-rays either. I think if I had more time to delve into the DVDs, I probably would have found more, because there was a lot of DVDs and a lot of like obscure indie titles that I would be interested in. But again, that time frame is kind of a lot of pressure. I was a little worried about that, so I didn't look through the DVDs too much, but I did find a couple of DVD titles, and then I did find a brand new Blu-ray that I wanted to pick up, and I'm pretty excited about what I found there. And again, it was just a really cool experience to finally be able to go inside, and hopefully one day I can go in when they're open, and just, you know, I could be free to roam. My sister Sarah, who passed away last year, she always wanted to take me to that store. She always wanted to take me to Scarecrow Video, because, you know, she knew as soon as she moved to Seattle that was a place that I would want to go. And I'm so sad that I didn't get to go with her, but I was able to go with my other sister Jenna, so I am happy about that, and I'm happy that I finally got to visit Scarecrow Video, because it was certainly an experience. So the first DVD I grabbed is called Lovely and Amazing. Sorry, really white cover there. This is directed by Nicole, I'm gonna say her name wrong, Laufenser. I have no idea how to say her name. but she's definitely a director that I'm interested in. I've liked a few of her other films, so when I saw this was directed by her, I had to grab it. This stars Catherine Keener, Jake Gyllenhaal in a really pretty young role, Emily Mortimer, and Dermot Mulroney. So sounds like a really interesting film, and again, being directed by her, I wanted to give it a shot. I took the price tags off these, but I do remember them being pretty inexpensive. And then the other film I found, this is a French film. It is called Sex is Comedy. Again, I wish I would have had some more time to delve through the whole DVD section, because there was a lot of stuff, and I feel like I could have found some real gems in there, because I love to find like foreign films and independent films, but I did find a couple, so I am happy about that. And the other thing I grabbed there at Scarecrow Video, and I'm really excited about this pickup, it was brand new, it was $20, which I think is a great deal, and that is Roman Polanski's Knife in the Water. And this is actually a UK release, so not super easy to come by here in the US. And I'm just really excited to have found this in person, because finding a title like this in person is just awesome. And I'm always trying to watch more of Roman Polanski's filmography, so had to grab it. So yeah, that is everything that I picked up while I was in Seattle. I do have some more pickups to show you. This video is not over. I'm sorry that this is yet again another really long haul video, but you guys said that you tend to enjoy these, so I hope that you're enjoying this one. If you guys are new to the channel and you're somehow at this point in the video, thank you guys for dropping in. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, because this is the kind of thing that we do all the time here on Movie Buff Pains. We talk all things movies, physical media, and collecting, so make sure that you subscribe and hang around. Alright, so this next stack is kind of just random various pickups. I'll just let you know where I got them as I get to them. This one we picked up at Walmart. This, again, is not my favorite genre of film, but slipcovers, they just make me weak, guys. And this is God Bless the Broken Road. And this initially had a slipcover, but this is a new kind of design, and I really do like the design of it. Again, not a huge fan of these holy roller type films, but I'll probably give it a watch at some point, and that slipcover is very nice. Next up, this is a Mercari pickup for Andrew. This is an animated film that he's really been wanting to see, and that is Hell and Back. Don't know too much about it, but this is one that he was very keen to check out, so he was happy to grab it. A little eBay pickup for me. I have several things that I have like saved searches for on eBay, always looking for titles with slipcovers and things that are hard to come by in the wild, and finally one of those saved search emails was a success, and I found this title. I've been looking for it with a slip for a while, and that is The Flowers of War. This of course stars Christian Bale, and again, been looking for this with the slip for a very long time, so happy to add it to the collection finally. Next up, this is a digibook that I picked up from Amazon. I've just heard that this is a really good film. I honestly don't know too much about it, but it did win 2 Academy Awards, so it's got to be interesting, and that is Midnight Express. If you guys have seen this and know anything about it, please let me know in the comments below. Another eBay pickup here. Shout Select did recently have a sale. I didn't participate in that sale. It's like the only one that I haven't participated in recently. I've participated in far too many sales, but I was happy to find this one on eBay for really cheap. I think it was about the same price or a little bit less than what they were offering in their sale, and it was a guaranteed slipcover, and that is Snow Falling on Cedars. Wanting to grab this one since it was released. I mean, you have a fantastic cast in this film. Ethan Hawke, James Cromwell, Richard Jenkins, Sam Shepard, Max von Sydow. I mean, just a really good cast in this film, so happy to add this to my Shout Select collection. And another Shout Select release here. I heard about this one on the Just the Discs podcast and it sounded really intriguing to me, and that is Chuck Berry, Hail Hail Rock and Roll. This is a documentary about Chuck Berry. Admittedly, this was a Shout Select title that I didn't have much interest in, but after hearing about it on the Just the Discs podcast, I had to grab it. It sounds really interesting to me. And that one I got for really cheap off of Amazon. Another Amazon pickup, one I've been wanting to grab for a while. It is a Gaspar Noé film, huge fan of his, and that is Enter the Void. This film looks right up my alley. Really excited to finally give it a watch. And then just like I'm trying to get into more film noir, another genre that I'm trying to watch more of is westerns. Upon looking at a bunch of best westerns lists online, this was on a bunch of them, and it was so cheap on on Amazon. Like, I think it was like $4 or $5. And this, of course, is directed by Howard Hawks, and that is Rio Bravo. I actually was really surprised I didn't have this in the collection already, so I had to grab it, especially for that really cheap price. This is one I've been wanting to check out for quite a while. This is directed by Joel Edgerton's brother, Nash Edgerton, and that is The Square. This is one that I've just had on my wish list for a while. It dropped to a pretty good price on Amazon, so decided to go ahead and give it a grab. As always, trying to watch and collect all of Paul Schrader's films, and this one got pretty cheap on Amazon, so finally grabbed it, and that is American Gigolo, of course starring Richard Gere. Always interested to watch more Paul Schrader films, so awesome. Another Amazon pickup, and that is The Wolf Pack. Really interested in this one. This is a fantastic documentary from what I've heard. I mean, the story of this is just really interesting. It's a coming-of-age story following the 6 Angelo brothers who have spent their entire lives locked away from society in an apartment on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. All they know of the outside world is gleaned from the films they watch obsessively and recreate meticulously using elaborate homemade props and costumes. For years, this has served as a productive way to stave off loneliness, but when one of the brothers escapes, everything changes. So that just sounds super interesting. Really excited to give this one a watch. And the director of this one, she did another film that I really enjoyed called Skate Kitchen, so wanted to check out her debut film, which happens to be a documentary. Really interesting. Next, I had to grab this one. My friend Justin Ryan 1988, he talks about this film a lot. It's one of his favorites, and it just looks right up my alley. Starring Robin Lively, we have Teen Witch. I had kind of been holding out hope that this would be on sale in like a Kino sale, since it's put out by Kino/Scorpion, but I never really saw it in one of those, so just decided to go ahead and grab it off of Amazon. Really looking forward to giving this one a watch. Next, we have kind of an out-of-print find. This is a really hard title to find on Blu-ray, and I found it on Mercari. Really excited about it, and that is O. This stars Julia Stiles and Josh Hartnett. This is a film I wanted to see for a really long time, and was really excited to find it for a good price on Mercari. The last month or so, I've been kind of obsessed with Jane Fonda, and I've been watching a lot of her films. And this one was so cheap on Amazon, I couldn't pass it up, and that is Barefoot in the Park. Of course, starring Jane Fonda and Robert Redford. So looking forward to giving this one a watch. And another cheap Amazon pickup, we have The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. This was the #1 best-selling film in the LGBTQ genre on Amazon, and I love LGBTQ films, and this stars Terrence Stamp, Hugo Weaving, Guy Pearce, and Bill Hunter. Heard great things about this in the past, so really looking forward to giving this one a watch. This is another title that I've been on the hunt for with a slipcover for a really long time. Now, one of the reasons that I have held back on buying it so many times is because the slipcover is almost always damaged. It's just one of those titles where the slipcover just is never mint. But this is probably one of the better condition slipcovers that I found, and I found it on eBay for a really good price. Actually won it in an auction, and that is Kingpin. And also, this is a film that I've wanted to see for a long time, but that slipcover has held me back. But I finally found one that's in pretty decent condition, and I'm really excited to finally give this a watch. And this is another Mercari pickup, I do believe, by Andrew. I've never heard of this one before, but really cool. He found a copy with a slip. That is Iron Man: Rise of Technivore. Again, never heard of this one, but he was excited about it, so adding it to the collection. Alrighty, these next several are from Zavvi. I actually haven't ordered much from them in the last few years, but just over the last little bit, I have bought several things from them, partially because it has become increasingly difficult to import titles from the UK. Amazon UK, at least for me, does not let me order virtually anything anymore, which is really unfortunate because that was a way that I pre-ordered a lot of label titles and things like that, and unfortunately I just can't do it anymore. I don't know why they're not shipping to the US at all. I mean, shipping costs have gone up crazy amounts, but I mean I'm fine paying a little bit higher premium of shipping, but they're just not even giving me that option. So had to turn to Zavvi, found some titles that I've been wanting to grab for a while, and they only charged like $7 to ship, or I think it might even be like $5 to ship to the US, which is really great. They send everything as it becomes available, so they send everything out to you one by one if they have to. I know a lot of people have problems with Zavvi and have had problems in the past. I personally have never really had any issues with them, and I'll probably continue to buy from them, especially since it's become so difficult to import UK titles. So anyways, that was a little spiel there about why I've been buying stuff from Zavvi. But the first thing I picked up, this is a Zavvi exclusive steelbook of a 4K title. And also, side note, I did just hear that the Hut Group, which is the company over Zavvi, purchased Arrow Video, which is really interesting. But the title that I grabbed is Old Boy on 4K. Sorry, it's probably not turning out super well, just because this is still in the shrink wrap. I don't want to open it until I'm going to watch it. But I did just recently watch this film. I absolutely loved it, and I knew I wanted to pick up the 4K, and when I saw this cool steelbook available from Zavvi, I had to grab it. So Old Boy on 4K, the Zavvi exclusive steelbook from Arrow. Really excited to add this one to the collection. Next up, we have a film released by Second Sight. This was kind of just a random film that came upon my radar a few weeks ago, and when I saw it on there, decided to grab it, and I did already give it a watch, and that is Electric Dreams. This was just a quintessential 80s movie. I absolutely loved it. I mean, we were always so fearful of what technology was going to do to our society, especially in the 80s and 90s, and I really love movies that explore that concept, and this was just an awesome, again, really quintessential 80s film. Had some awesome 80s music in it, lots of like culture clubs, new wave stuff that I love, and yeah, I really enjoyed this film, and I'm happy to add it to the collection. Next up, we have a release from Eureka starring Donnie Yen, and that is Iron Monkey. Really been getting into Japanese, Chinese, Korean cinema lately. I've always liked it, but I've been watching a lot more lately, and Eureka has a lot of really great titles, a lot of great Asian cinema, so yeah, happy to add this one, and I'm a big fan of Donnie Yen, so had to grab it. And this is one that's been on my want list for quite a while. I had it in my Amazon UK cart for a long time, and finally went ahead and pulled the trigger with Zavvi. It is a 101 Films release, and that is The Cooler. This is their like slip box edition. I don't know what they call these. I guess they're limited editions. I do have one in my collection already, which is Existence by David Cronenberg, but this one is just a film I wanted to see for a while. It stars William H. Macy, amazing actor, and I'm actually just reading that this at least somewhat takes place in Las Vegas, so that's awesome. So yeah, The Cooler, finally adding it to my collection after having it in my cart for so long. Really excited to have it. Next up, we have another release from Eureka, and that is Pulse. This is a 1988 horror film starring Joey Lawrence. I have seen this before. I own the Mill Creek release, which is pretty much bare bones, and this does have some special features on it. So decided to go ahead and upgrade to this one, and it also has a really nice slipcover on there. But yeah, again, there are special features on this one if you guys are interested, and I'm excited to upgrade this version because I do enjoy this film. Another one from 101 Films here, and that is Phase 4. I did miss out on the limited edition of this one, but excited to add the film to my collection nonetheless. This is probably one I'll be watching this week for 70s Decade of Horror. This one is another title that I heard about on Just the Discs podcast. Stephanie Crawford, one of my favorite guests on that podcast, mentioned this one, and it just sounded really awesome. This is from 88 Films, and that is Inframan. And weirdly enough, I couldn't find this on the 88 Films website. I did just place a fairly sizable order with them. I haven't ordered from them in quite a while, but I did place a pretty decent sized order. But this one wasn't on there, so I went ahead and grabbed it from Zavvi. And if you just take a look at the back there, I mean, kind of gives you an idea of what you're in for with Inframan, but this looks like a hell of a lot of fun, so happy to add it to the collection. You could turn this into a drinking game and drink every time I'd say happy to add it to the collection. Although you guys would probably be pretty hammered by the end of the video. And this one, I was turned on to this release by Stephanie Movie Chatter, so shout out to her for this. I didn't even know that this existed. It's not like a super fancy special edition or anything, but Pedro Almodovar is the director that I've been trying to watch more of his films. You know, obviously I've been going through a lot of filmographies lately, and this is a box set of several of his movies, so I had to give it a grab. I mean, look at that, that's really awesome. Nice little box set here. Again, it's not anything super fancy, but it is a good way to add some films to my collection that I didn't already have. This has Dark Habits, What Have I Done to Deserve This, Law of Desire, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. I do own that from Criterion, but that's the only one that I own. You also have Kika and The Flower of My Secret. So really excited to add this to the collection. Again, a bunch of titles that I don't have of his, so excited to grab it. So that's everything I grabbed from Zavvi. The last 2 stacks here are stuff that I picked up here in town at some local stores that I went to recently. This first stack is from Zia Records. It's been quite a while since I went there. I try not to go there too often because I know I always tend to spend way too much money. So I go there every few months or so, but this one I did order from their website and got it shipped to me. From what I can tell, this title does appear to be out of print. It's not easy to come by. Everywhere I looked, it was pretty expensive, so I went on Zia Records, found a used copy, and was really excited to add it. And that is The Lady Vanishes, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And again, from what I can tell, this seems to be out of print or kind of in limbo somewhere because it's very expensive everywhere I looked. Or at least it was when I bought it. But this is of course directed by Alfred Hitchcock, 1938. This is probably number 3, really pretty early release from Criterion. So excited to add it to the collection. Side note here, I saw on Cinefession's Twitter the other night that his disc stops at like the hour 20 mark, and apparently that's a common issue with this disc. I didn't know that. Hopefully my disc works. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but hopefully it's okay. If you guys have this title, is that an issue for you guys? Let me know in the comments below. But either way, happy to add it to the collection. Thankful I found a used copy for so cheap. So going into what I picked up in stores, first thing, obviously, this was a pick by Andrew. This is a Warner Archive release of the complete original series of The Jetsons. Unfortunately, a lot of these complete series and whatnot are not usually part of the Warner Archive sales, and he found this for, you know, a pretty good price at Zia, but I had enough points to get this for half off. So if I remember correctly, this was like $11 or something, so really good price, and it was brand new, so happy to add this to the collection. And the rest of these were used pickups. Again, I had some Zia points here and there and found some good deals. So first one is the Osiris Child. I remember when this one came out and it was pretty hard to find for some reason, and then like all the slipcovers disappeared, and I found this copy. It says it's pre-owned, but it does appear to be sealed, so pretty cool find. Another Well-Go release here, and this is Shiolin. Probably saying that wrong, but always happy to grab older catalog releases from them with the slipcovers. And this is one I was kind of surprised we didn't own already, and that is Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis. It looked like one that we probably would have had, but we didn't, and it was only $4, so pretty good grab. Next we have Nomad the Warrior. Don't know too much about it, but only $5. Then anything with Christian Slater I will buy, and this one is called Sacrifice. You also got Cuba Gooding Jr. in there. I don't know much about this, but we'll give it a watch. Next up, this is a pretty cool release. This is a film called Natural City, but I remember when I looked it up, this actually is a foreign release and pretty expensive, so for $5 I couldn't pass this one up. Another Well-Go release here, and that is Firestorm. Been looking for this one with the slipcover for a while. The slip's not in great condition, but it was only $4, so kind of just went with it, and that is Stonehurst Asylum. And then this one I had on my radar just because it had a slipcover. Again, slipcovers make me weak, but I did not want to pay much for it, and I finally found it for $3, and that I can do, and that is Alex and Me. Again, sorry these releases are kind of messy looking, but wanted to show you the prices. Next we have the complete first season of Empire, only $5, not bad for that one. Next we have a Trauma release here, and that is Terror Firmer. Always fun to find Trauma in the wild. And this one is a pretty random find. It's a Echo Bridge steelbook of a film called Wolfsbane. Never heard of it, but I think Andrew looked it up and found it was like a store exclusive. I want to say it was like Walmart or something really random. So when I find random stuff like that, I just pretty much have to grab it. This one I remember wanting to pick up, but I was never able to, and this is not one that you're normally gonna find in stores. This is a Jess Franco double feature of The Silence of the Tomb and The Sinister Eyes of Dr. Orloff. Again, that is not one you're gonna find in stores very often, so was really excited to snag this one. Next we have an out-of-print Shout Factory title. This is directed by Sam Raimi, and that is Crime Wave. I know Indicator is putting out a release pretty soon, but I figured I'd go ahead and give it a watch and decide if it's worthy of upgrading to an Indicator release, but I was excited to find this. Another Clint Eastwood pickup for this haul and that is Every Which Way But Loose. I've really been wanting to find the original film of this, but I did find the remake for $3, so pretty good price, and that is Death at a Funeral. Hopefully I can find the original at some point. Next we have a film with a wonderful cast, and that is Voyage of the Damned. Another Well Go USA release here, that is Dangerous Liaisons. This one's a pretty random find here. This is called Flesh for the Beast, Susiko's Curse, I believe is how you say it. From what I remember after looking this one up, it's not very easy to come by, so this is a pretty good find. Then we have a Jet Li film here. This is called Flying Swords of Dragon Gate. And this is a German title, always happy to find import titles in the wild, and that is The 51st State. And probably my favorite find from Zia, this was only $4. This is a fairly recent release from Sony in Colombia, one of their mod releases, which usually go for like $23 on Amazon. And again, this is only $4. And that is The Heroes of Telemark. I feel like that is a pretty good find for $4, so really excited about this one. Told you guys this would be a long one. The last stack I have here is from another local store here called Buybacks. We bought our shelf that's in the middle of the room here from Buybacks. They're really awesome, really nice to us, and they were having their buy two get one for $1 sale or buy two get one free sale, and grabbed some stuff from that. First one is an Olive Films release, another one for this haul, starring Eliza Minnelli, and it's called Tell Me That You Love Me, Junie Moon. I'd seen this one there the last couple times we went, but finally got the opportunity to pick it up for a good price. Next we have a release from Funimation, and that is the feature film version of Tokyo Ghoul. Then we have a few more Funimation releases. Andrew was really excited about these. He heard they were really good samurai films. I think that's pronounced Rurouni Kenshin, and he got all 3 parts. First one is Part 1 Origins. And buyback stickers are always such a pain to get off, so it'll be fun to get these off. And this is Part 2 Kyoto Inferno. And then we have Part 3 The Legend Ends. Then we have kind of a random film here that has a really good cast, including Kurt Russell, Jay Baruchel, Terrence Stamp, Matt Dillon. That is The Art of the Steal. And kind of same thing with this one, a really good cast, but kind of a random film. You got Robin Williams, Holly Hunter, Giovanni Ribisi, Woody Harrelson, Tim Blake Nelson, and The Big White. Then you have Chow Yun-fat in Curse of the Golden Flower. Andrew was really excited about this one. I can't say I fully understand it, but he was excited about it. And came with a slipcover, so that's cool. And that is Stargate Continuum. And then I got the complete first season of The Nick, starring Clive Owen, and I know Steven Soderbergh was involved on this one, so really excited to check this out. Then we have the complete 3rd season of Veep. Absolutely love this show, one of my favorites with Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Next we have one that I'm pretty surprised that we didn't already own, and that is Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz. I'm sure that I've seen this one before, but I don't remember it too well. We also got Paul Giamatti and Amanda Bynes in there. Pretty much my childhood. We have another kind of out of print find. It's one that I've been on the hunt for a while, and it stars Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow, and that is Bounce. Again, not one that is very easy to come by, so I was excited to find it. And then we have Soul Power. We have a documentary about soul music. Another Well Go release, a lot of these in this haul. That is Z Storm. Another one that I was pretty surprised we didn't already own, starring Brad Pitt, you have 7 Years in Tibet. And finally, the last pickup of this haul from Well Go USA, you have The Unity of Heroes. So again, sorry this one has been so terribly long, but I had so many pickups to share with you guys. And now that I finally recorded this video, I can get around to trying and organizing all of this, because it is a lot, and it will take quite a bit of time to organize all of this into the collection. But I do thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you feel so inclined to support our channel, please check out the links in the description below. Thank you guys for all of your support. We always appreciate the comments and the likes and the interaction that we get from you guys. It's awesome. I do want to give a shout out to our first patron over on Patreon, Chase Wilson. I mean, he's been a supporter from the very start, and he's just awesome, really supportive of all of our videos, and gives us lots of comments and love, and we just really appreciate him. And if you guys are interested in getting a shout out every single video, check out our Patreon and consider becoming an executive producer of the channel. But as always, we thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, hit that notification bell to get notifications when we upload new videos, and I will see you on the next one.